You're literally Frodo right now.
He's the hero. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gollum's Gamers, where today we are back with the April edition of MESBG Monthly, which is a series where Ali and I, who joins me today for the Spotify listeners, aim to keep you updated on all things MESBG from the previous and upcoming month. Now, at the end of the episode, we'll be answering a question from the audience. So if there's a question that comes to mind throughout the episode that you'd like answered for next time, then be sure to leave it down in the comment section here on YouTube. And while you're down there, you can find links to our Instagram and Spotify. And also please consider subscribing to us here on YouTube, as roughly 60% of everyone watching isn't actually subscribed. So please do so if you enjoy all of the MESBG content that we make. As we kick things off, it's worth mentioning that we're recording this episode before the GBHL Masters has taken place at the end of March, as Ali is going away this time. It was me last month. I went away. So I think it was the GP, which we're going to review today. But it's Ali going away. Where are you actually going, Ali? You're leaving.
I'm going to Italy.
Oh, I didn't actually know you were going to Italy.
Yeah. No.
Whereabouts are you going?
Rome.
Oh, okay.
Then down to Naples and Pompeii, and then over to Sicily.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to stalk me, or any Italian SPG gamers who want
do we
to
have any
track me
Italians
down,
watching? I have Italian heritage as well.
I reckon there should be at least one Italian watching.
There has to be. There's some Italian SPG competitive players out there for sure. They've got a huge scene. So yeah. Okay, well, Ali's going, so we will be discussing the Masters results next month. But for the first GBHL 100 today, like I mentioned, it's the Grand Prix from February. So it was actually February, 600-point event with 7 games. We did actually do specific preview and review videos already for this event. So we've covered this a lot, but just for anyone who maybe hasn't seen those, you might only have time to watch MESBG Monthly every month. So we'll keep you updated, but we'll keep it brief. So Ali, you were at the event. So on the left-hand side here, as the viewers can see, we had Matt Light with his Depths of Moria list, which is on the screen as well for the YouTube viewers, won the event in first place, 120 players as well. So it's a very big event. We had David Farmer with his Army of the White Hand, no surprise there, in second place. And then Ali King with his Erebor Reclaimed in third. So for the full hour-long breakdown of how his list got on, you can go check out the review episode. But in a nutshell, what were your takeaways, Ali, following the GP?
It was quite an interesting event because like we mentioned it in the main review, but in the top 16 there was 15 different lists, wasn't
15, I think. Yeah.
And they kind of fell into 3 brackets, which was a crap ton of models, which Matt's light list was the crappiest of the biggest of the tons of models.
Yeah.
Farmers was the second largest, or one of, like, definitely in that sort of bracket as well, but had a bit of shenanigans, and then you had the sort of middle elite-ish kind of 30 model army list, which was mine, which kind of was there going, well, I hope I can kill enough before the game ends, which I did enough to get myself third. Or then you had like the monster mashes, so there's a couple of events and a couple sort of Eagles list hanging around, which did fairly well. None of them cracked top 3, but
it was the altered Eagles. So for anyone who didn't see the preview or review episodes, there was like a TO FAQ on the screech size for the Eagles. So it was only 3 inches as opposed to 6, which obviously makes it a lot less oppressive. So maybe that's why Eagles didn't break it into the upper echelon for this event.
Yeah, but it was another event, especially because that 600 points with the current scenarios we've got shows that numbers do give you the edge in the majority of the scenarios.
Which is why Ali was so happy to have broken into the podium position. See, he's trying to just give a take there, but he's also trying to tip himself at the same time. This is how Ali operates, folks.
Oh, I mean, you guys said that my list was rubbish. So
there we go. We're getting it out now.
Yeah, to be fair, I did lose to Farmer's Armored White Hand twice, so it probably does show that a better list in a good player's hands will still usually
get the win. So was that at this event? You played him twice at the GP?
Yeah, because of the weird way the format works. I played him day one.
Oh yeah, of course. With
and then I played him in the semi-final, as it were.
Let's see. So do you? Yeah, you lost that and then you won your last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, and it's just interesting, yeah, these kind of early 100s in the new edition, kind of seeing what's winning, what's rising at particular points levels, which we'll see in a moment as well, because there's another 600 point 100 as well. But obviously, as the Army's book and match play guide, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, come out, we should start to see maybe some of these lists change as there's new lists coming in as well. So, it's all still very early on. So, I think that'll do it for the GP, though. Make sure to go check out the review episode if you wanted some more detail. But we shall move on to the Gathering at the Grey Havens, which is the 600 point GBHL 100. Held, it's Preston, isn't it, that Charles runs it?
Yeah.
Which is a 6-game event. And it was won by none other than Jakob with Army of the White Hand. So, again, here it is, doing very well at GBHL 100. In second place, again, Army of the White Hand. There's a theme here, being piloted by Natalie Pearson. And then in third place, we have Adam Bird with his Birders Horde list, which he almost cracked the podium with was it Gondor in 60 seconds, I believe? Earlier this year. So he's come back out and got onto that podium spot with Birders Horde. So very well done to all three. Some more Army of the White Hand spam. Is this here to stay, Ali? At this points level?
At this points level, definitely. And at a lot of points levels
across the
moment. Yeah. Obviously there's gonna be a whole sort of we don't know when the new book comes out and the match play guide. But at the moment, I think up until at least 750 points, it is pretty top dog.
What do you think it's so like up to say 750, and then where does it kind of bottom out at?
I don't know whether it bottoms out, but it'll probably become less dominant. So like you may still get sort of your top players will still win events with a bit higher points. But I think at that point the impact of the lightning becomes less because you've got more models generally as an opponent. So losing 4 or 5 isn't going to be as impactful as it is at low points. And also it doesn't, after Grimmer and Saruman, it kind of starts not having much to kill. And so once your elite list, like maybe your Last Alliance or like your Ever Reclaimed and that start being able to just put down enough models on the board, they probably can't actually break through it. So I think 800 is still probably fairly competitive. I'll be interested to see how it does beyond that. But I think we've kind of established between 600 and 750 is pretty
but there's not a world really we can make it work sub 600. We actually had someone message into our Instagram very recently wondering about low point lists and kind of what things are looking good at the moment. Obviously by the time this goes up, the Masters will have happened, so obviously that's at 550, but in the Masters preview that would have already gone up by the time you guys see this, there was no Army of the White Hand, so I guess under 600 maybe it just doesn't work with the war bands or something.
I think the fact is you need Saruman and you kind of want Grimmer, and it's just shy of 200 points in those, and then you start getting into complicated warband space territory as well. So 500, I guess maybe, although I think there may be better, cheaper horde lists at 500.
Well, to get that extra 100 points up to 600 that you can really up to 40 models, two chieftains.
It gives you that, it gives you the extra chieftain and the extra warband, basically.
Bumps up the might, the numbers, and you're looking to go for 600. So okay. And then so Natalie as well with Army of the White Hand, and then Birders Horde, an interesting one. Did you expect to see that on a podium?
Honestly, I haven't played it, and I've only vaguely looked at it.
So no.
So I haven't really given it that much thought. I'm pretty sure Adam's been using this all season so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think
because he's bird by name, so Birders Horde by nature.
Christ. Okay, well,
I wouldn't be surprised if that genuinely is the reason why he's taking it. Adam, if you're watching this video, let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Leave a comment. Okay, so Gathering at the Grey Havens, very well done to all three, and we shall move on to the Warhammer World, the Games Workshop Grand Tournament, which was a 700 point Good v Evil 6-game event. It was good v evil, right? And not just
Yeah.
good and evil. Yeah, sure. So good v evil. So in first place, we had Alessandro. I'm not going to try to pronounce your surname. He is Italian, and he came over to the GT specifically to win one of our GBHL 100s, I'm sure. So he came in first place with his Rangers of Athelion and Army of the White Hand once again. But it's not the screen, the list that you can see up on the screen, because we could not get in touch with him, unfortunately, to get his list. And obviously the TOs isn't someone that I can reach out to because it's Games Workshop. So instead on the screen, we have David Farmer's Realms of Men list, who came in second place using that at 700, which is very interesting. And the Depths of Moria, that's less interesting, as we've seen that many times so far. And then in third place, we had Connor Morris with his Halls of Thranduil. And once again, Depths of Moria as his evil list. So I believe Dave was using the Watcher in his list, and then Goblin's Fan, I think, and then Connor had the Balrog. So both of those working and being able to podium a 100. Obviously, the GT is a little bit of a sort of interesting 100 because like you get some of like our top players going, but like not maybe all of them or as many as you get at other GBHL 100s. You'll get some, but
so obviously Farmer was there and Jakob was there. Although actually, here's a funny thing: neither of them had a ticket before the event. They turned up on the day because often people drop out last minute. And Jakob, I know, doesn't live that far, sort of from Nottingham. So
they actually just turned up and they had
they got tickets. Yeah,
no way. So they just went up to the desk like, "You have a GBHL 100 going on upstairs."
Yeah.
Let me play. That's so funny. I didn't know that. So like they were there. Jay and Ben were there. Maybe
my brother was there. He was actually top table final game. Shot Carter.
Shout out,
Matt.
So anyway, so the GT, so Rangers of Athelion. Obviously, we've talked about Army of the White Hand, but Rangers of Athelion. We did talk about this last night on the Masters preview as well. I think at 550, Jamie had like 20 bows or something. So I dread to think the amount that Alessandro had, but lots of scenarios.
Garrison of Athelion, not Rangers of Athelion.
What, sorry?
Is it Garrison of Athelion?
Did I say Garrison or did I say?
No, I said, is it Rangers or is it Garrison?
I think it's Rangers. It's the same thing.
I feel like it's called Garrison now.
You think it's Garrison now? Oh, well, sorry. The Rangers of Athelion. So lots of scenarios at the moment. Obviously, you can really capitalize on the, sit back and shoot sort of game. So I guess that's what he's looking to do with Rangers and Army of the White Hand. And he's won a 6-game 100 with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking there's a lot of like Moria lists and like low model evil hordes about at the moment doing well, just being strength 2 bows actually, if you're facing D3, D4 armies, can actually blitz through and sort of it doesn't. I don't know how he's built it, unfortunately, but you can get a reasonable model count in there if you want.
He did have the hobbits, I knew.
That gives you the VP
mentioned
head start advantage.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the model count actually is on that one. But just
must have been pretty high. I mean, I think Jamie had 38 models at 550, so it's got to be north of 45.
Was that with the hobbits at 550?
Oh no, Truce. How?
There's probably about 40 models if he's got.
It's not actually too many then when you look at like this Realms of Men, for example. Obviously, but you really will.
But he's not playing Realms of Men. So the thing is actually like because of where it's good v evil.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're there going the fight value 4 of the list will win nearly every combat you're going to face against any army.
Against evil,
you're going to be able to outshoot any evil army. And actually, generally speaking, farmers and your heroes are match for most evil heroes that you're probably facing.
Yeah, match at least. Yeah, so he's 5'6". Yeah. So you're going to be matching probably.
Yeah.
Situations. Yeah.
So I'm not surprised it has done well, and probably
same,
especially in a good beat evil. Alessandro is a very good player. He's played and represented Italy quite a few times.
Shout out Alessandro. Yeah. And then obviously this Realms of Men I thought would be interesting. Obviously we don't know exactly the loadout that Connor took for his Halls of Thranduil. But yeah, Realms of Men.
I reckon the Halls of Thranduil has Thranduil in it.
I would argue that as
Hot
well.
take.
Potentially a Legolas, but
Yeah.
open for debate. But yeah, I was interested to see. So Farmer took the Kings of Men. So he's taken three of them: the Gondor, Arnor, and Numenor kings.
Yeah.
But he hasn't mounted any of them, which obviously it is quite a big investment to mount them. They do get quite a bit better, but I guess you do have three on foot fight six heroes for pretty cheap. So, and you get the numbers up. So he's got 47 models at 700. He's got 15 bows. He's got fight five line, D6 or D7 at the front. So, and he's kind of got to those stats by not investing all those points. Because is it 30 points to add a horse and lance?
Yeah, because it's an armored. No, no, you can get a non-armored horse, I think, on
I
that.
think it's 30 points you have to pay. I'll check that now. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a big investment. Over three heroes.
It makes them very expensive. The only ones you would do it on, in my opinion, is the free attack ones, which I think is the
Yeah.
Dale and the Arnold.
Yeah, you could do it on one just so you have a mounted sort of hero,
Yeah.
heroic combat sort of slingshot option
Yeah.
there. But then maybe you're coming down 45 models. Is that I know Farmer here, he's actually broken his rule he told me about a while ago where he really doesn't like uneven numbers. So he must have really thought the numbers were important because, yeah, I know.
I think it may have been he didn't because of where you're a bit less flexible and how you can do war gear and that now. Maybe he's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
maybe so. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. That was a last edition take.
Mm.
So sorry, this is Realms of Men. Yeah. How much is it for the? Uh, is it? It's 20 points for the horse, and then
Fight for allowance.
yeah, 5 for. I thought it was like a package, like it was for the
No.
Knight Captain. But yeah, so
But yeah, no. I mean, this is a list that I know right at the start of the edition I said maybe a slightly sleeper hit.
you did.
Um,
I remember
uh,
that
yeah, wow.
on a
Makes a
podcast.
change. You
So well
paying
argued.
attention?
A change, this man. Yeah, this is
But,
something I would love to run as well. Now I've seen it has some legs, but obviously it's Farmer using it, so he could use
I
most
reckon
things and still do
I
well.
reckon it's got 94 legs. Actually,
So you reckon
98 because it's got a horse as well.
98? Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's quick maths there. Yeah, I might give it a go. I don't have all the Arnor, but I like rank and file,
Yeah.
tin can armies.
I
Hence
mean,
why I own the Dragon Emperor.
it's very much a me list to be honest, because it's sort of there going like I tend to have less showy off heroes,
Mm.
and
I
just
like the
sort of
Kings of Men though as well.
yeah. To be
I just
fair,
think they're
for
cool.
85 points, when you've given them like heavy armor or
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
heavy armor and a
well,
shield,
yeah,
they're really good. They got really nice heroics. They got march, they've got defense, and they've got strike, I
yeah.
think, and then fight six.
Considering now, like some of them have three might and three attacks and stuff, and like they
Yeah.
can go up in points.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if the models are available. Are they Kings of Men? Is it like a pack of?
They're one of these ones which comes in and out,
Okay,
like or has
I
some in
wonder
the
if they
last few
are right
years.
now. I don't know.
Um, but I mean, you can like ask your TO obviously, but in all honesty, I wouldn't be a problem if someone used Arbaduri as the King of Men for
Yeah,
like
some yeah.
Arnor, and then like used
Can I use my
unless they were
King
picking
Elisar as
something.
a King of Men Gondor?
Yeah,
King
like
of
as in
Gondor.
I think
Okay.
because obviously you can't do those alliances now generally. So if you've got Aragon on foot and you've got Elendo on foot and you've got Armadillo on foot,
Be like, come
I
on.
mean it's if anything, it's easier to tell them apart than if
Yeah,
you've
they
got
are
the actual
literally
Kings of Men.
kings of those
Yeah,
factions. So
yeah,
what are we talking about here? Yeah, might be
but
something.
yeah, but on the actual list, it's there going. It's a really high model count. You're going to be out fighting all evil lists. You've got some fight five and strength four, which means even evil heroes are going to start struggling to actually beat your battle
Yeah,
line.
so actually, the fight five in Good v Evil is like way better because you're going to be out fighting guaranteed like everything, and you're
Yeah.
strength four d6.
Mm. And then it outshoots probably most evil lists as well.
So what's
Um,
what's the downside of this list? It doesn't have
it
cubes,
doesn't,
punching,
you can't
Katinka.
react with it. So I
Yeah,
played,
it sits there. Yeah,
I mentioned it in our GP pod, but I played a 600 point version of this, which had like 42 models.
mm-hmm.
And instead of the Gondor and the King of Men, it was a Arnor captain and then sort of Arnor models. The problem it had is I was a better battle line in the end. He couldn't kill me because that D7 or higher generally, and my heroes could just smash through hers. And there was little, as soon as the tide started going against it, there's
Yeah,
little
you've got no
the list can
fallback.
do other than hope.
sit there and hope the dice swing
yeah.
your way. Yeah. So
and also if the Numenorians do, someone gets through onto them, they do, even though they're fight five, they can go down much quicker than the rest of the army, and you lose your
yeah,
actual
better than
advantage.
last edition. They'll be shielding at fight five now, as opposed to fight four as last edition.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so I think that will do it for the Warhammer World GT. So now we will move on to news from the mark, which is the segment where we take a look at the individual and team standings in the GBHL, as well as discuss any recent news items from across MESBG. So kicking things off then with the individual rankings here at the top. Once again, same as last month, we have two Any Heroics players, David Farmer and Jakob Krochmal in first and second, although they have switched places from last month. It was Jakob in first and Farmer in second, but now it's Farmer on top. We have Tom McConnell from Team Pigmar. Shout out to the Pigmar in third place. And there's no Gollum's Gamers there. Ali.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like you can tell we're not going to events en masse this year, are we?
No. No Gollum's Gamers in the top 10.
Although where it actually counts.
Sheesh. Is the team rankings, baby. The Gollum's Gamers, top of the team rankings, first place. Look at that lovely gold there, the Gollum's Gamers. God, that looks good. The best team in the GBHL as of today.
It's quite interesting, actually, because we'll get to talk about ourselves because it's our pod.
But
that you've got 4 Any Heroics in the top 10,
and they're just
and
so
no
really
gamers, and somehow we're higher up in the team ranking, which shows we're basically a better team overall.
So really, yeah, we are, pulling by committee, right? It's a team effort, even though I haven't been to a GBHL.
I was about to say, once you go to a GBHL event, we'll be
I have two booked. I only go to hundreds, baby. And this is kind of reflected the fact that we're not going to as many events in the events attended column there. That is, I think, the first time since we've been the Gollum's Gamers that I haven't seen us with the most amount of events attended. I don't think I've ever seen that. We've got Pigmar with 37. Even Any Heroics are one above us. And the Guardians and Team Atomic in 5th place as well. Above us. I can't.
Yeah. It comes down to what we were on about. Like I think when last month, where Farmer and Jakob have maxed out their points for Any Heroics now.
Yes.
And Denby and John have done fairly well.
Well, they're in 5th and 6th, so yeah, they've got some good
spots. Then there's the rest of the team who probably need to pull their weight. And I'm sure Captain Denby is going to be having words with his squad and threatening the axe.
Yeah, Denby's not going to be happy with the 2nd place. Welcome to our world from last year, because it was the Seven City Crusaders that were the bane of our, crusade last year. But they are in 8th Team Knots, the newly formed Team Knots with only 19 events. So I mean, but they have time. They've got some really good players. So see if they can rise through the rankings. Go on.
I also think there's going to be an interesting competition between Team Pigmar and Team Guardians and Team Atomic, as they're all sort of
who's going to jostle
in a similar region and players.
So far, Pigmar's really taken it. They're spamming the events.
They have done 11 more events.
They've seen the Gollum's Gamers recipe from years gone by, and they've gone, this is how you do it, folks. You go from 3rd to 2nd, and then now we're 1st, but we need to hold it for the year. So it's early, but there's lots of game left to happen. So I think I'll do it then for the individual and team ranking. So I guess moving on to the news part of News from the Mark. For anyone who missed our emergency podcast from last month, it was even a solo emergency pod, the first of its kind, because Ali was not available because he was busy being a adult.
You weren't.
Right. Yeah. We had a number of articles last month with the big juicy reveals. So we had the books, first of all. So you had the Army's book and the Match Play Guide announced to be coming in the coming months, along with the lovely new Imrahil model, as well as the Catapult Troll as well. So takes from this, Ali, are you looking forward to the books coming out? When do you think they're going to come out?
Oh God, who knows?
How long's a piece of string, eh?
Although I will say I pretty much got my prediction of an
announcement. Oh, here we fucking go. Jesus Christ.
Announcement of it around the GT.
You did do
They
that.
didn't announce it at the GT, but it was the week of the GT.
I
So
forgot when I was prepping for this that the GT'd even happened, and then I realised the articles had happened. So I thought, oh,
yeah,
was it at the GT that they announced it or something? But
no,
they
it was
didn't.
the week before one, and it was the week after the
Sure.
GT for the other
So
one.
they
So
still, it's odd. It's like, because they used to do all these, announcements at the events and stuff, but now they don't do that at any of like the Warhammer World events.
yeah,
So
I
they're like,
think
oh,
it.
but we have to still use that as like a time when people expect news. So we'll do it
Yeah,
either side.
I,
Like,
I, I think it was like it's probably there's probably some sort of licensing or maybe just a change in strategy kind of thing. There's usually some boring, stupid reason as to why they
what,
stop doing stuff.
why they didn't do the reveals. Yeah, well, they don't.
Yeah.
I think it's oh no, sorry, for their other systems, they do the announcements like at these events and stuff, don't they? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
why it
that
may
like
be a licensing.
Adepticon? Isn't that in the US? Like I think they've done that, but I don't know if they do it at Warhammer World for their other game systems.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, so either side of the
So,
GT, I guess maybe every year we can expect some sort of news. Who knows? Yeah.
starting with, I'll work through them one by one in
Well,
this sort of.
everyone's heard my take, so fine.
Yeah. So what's the first bit of news that we had that comes out? So it was
It's the Army's book first.
the Army's book.
Mhm.
So we've got from the Army's book a really cool Prince Imrahil model, um,
Indeed.
who looks like the rest of
Um,
Dolomoth to the point where I mean he looks really nice, but you're definitely gonna get him confused and blend in with the rest of your knights and stuff like
that's
that.
fine. No,
I
because
mean,
you'll go, oh, he's the really cool one. That's the leader.
uh,
You
but
know.
here's the thing: I have a sneaking suspicion this model's been made or designed for ages and has been waiting to come out because Adam Troke, who used to be the
Yeah.
manager of the GW team, his favorite character from the books is Prince Imrahil. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, and he's somewhere high up in GW. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a bit of a I want a
Bit
Prince
of a
Imrahil model.
bring that
Uh,
out, please. Sure.
so him being the first non-movie classic character
Yes.
isn't massively.
No.
I mean, it is a surprise that we've got a plastic non-movie
But it's not
character, but
surprising considering
it's him.
that is him. Fine.
And also, it means that faction's actually got like a nice plastic figurehead. I wonder whether we'll get one for each faction. Is like your big
Like
hero
the leader guy.
will you'll eventually get plastic
I don't
anyway.
know if I like really, obviously, I think I'd prefer that they just bring out things for like supplements, how they've done before, like how all the Defense in the North stuff came
Mm.
out for the Defense in the North and everything. Like, I guess I'd rather the releases tie into like a new supplement with new army lists or something like that. So it kind of makes sense because if they just, kind of drop things for the hell of it, then you can't use them in a supplement or anything. So.
Yeah, I think we probably will do, but I think it's kind of like there's a lot of backlog. I think is
Yeah,
where the film laid it, and they're kind of like getting stuff out.
kind of
Hey,
clear.
I mean, we shouldn't complain too much. We're complaining that we weren't
Oh
getting
no, no,
anything
hey,
for
hey,
ages,
hey, hey.
and then we weren't
Yeah,
getting any articles, and then we got up for in the
we
space
did.
of 5 weeks.
We did.
But yeah, going through just quickly the list. So the main standout ones for me is Ford's Bison,
Oh
hashtag
yeah.
Fear's Guard returning.
Yeah. Oh yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so it'd be interesting to see what they do with that one.
Mm.
My bet is the models you possibly don't have the throwing spear limit, or it becomes
Okay.
50% instead,
Yeah.
and the Warriors of Rohan will get shield wall.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
that's my hot take bet
We will
at the
see if
moment.
that stands true, ladies and gents.
Then we've got Army of Erebor, Defenders of Erebor, and Kingdom of Khazad-dûm. So we're doubling the amount of dwarf featured lists in the
One of them's
Warhammer
got to be
Daily.
good, right?
Yeah.
Surely.
I mean, I don't know. I'm equally scared and hopeful about what Kingdom of Khazad-dûm is going to turn out to be
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
could be Erebor Reclaimed, which is very good, or then it could be Army of Thror, which
Is,
we may come on to later, which
we may do.
is not very good.
Not so.
Um, although I'm hopeful that Army of Erebor. It'd be interesting what the difference between Army of Erebor is and Defenders of Erebor, because
Mm.
I think Defenders of Erebor will be the Dale
Yes.
old Dane list.
Yeah. Yeah. Were
And
you
then
on the emergency pod that we did for that? I can't remember.
possibly. That's a long time ago.
I spoke to someone about that. It must have been you. Anyway,
Yeah, may
carry
have
on.
been Ben.
It
Because
may have
Ben
been
used to
Ben.
use that a lot last
Yeah, because
edition.
I did. Ben was on a pod recently. I can't remember which one. I've just moved house, so I'm
Yeah.
fucking on like Planet Mars right now. Sure.
Yeah. And then Army Available, I imagine, is the Old Dane list.
Yeah.
That I was using last edition when it was Erebor reclaimed because they couldn't be bothered to give it its own name. I still think Kingdom of the Lonely Mountain would have been better than Army of Erebor, but
I do like that. Kingdom of the Lonely Mountain.
yeah.
Not bad. Some creativity there from
I'll put my job application into
Sure.
the
To the left team. Yeah, we need someone inside GW so we
yeah.
can get the
And then going on to Evil, in terms of ones that stand out, I guess obviously Host of the Dragon Emperor is making its return.
Indeed.
Although I'll be surprised if it's as good as it was last edition.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's being
Um,
left. It will be.
yeah. My predicting is it won't be +1 fight value from the Emperor, but it may be like Boromir's Banner, so it's the
If it's tied,
4.5.
yeah.
But then I think more importantly for Evil though is they're going to be getting all of the other models and stuff added to the existing army list. So,
put in. What was there was like a Mordor one, Army of
the Army of the Great Eye.
Army of the Great Eye. Yeah, I'm curious as to what that's going to be exactly. Like a siege on.
We've already got a Black Gate opened.
Yeah, so maybe like the siege on Minas Tirith type thing.
Have we got a? We've got a bait because isn't that like Army the Host of Mordor or something like
that? Yeah, no, there is a. Oh yeah, that is that. Yeah, because there's the Easterlings. Yeah, no, you're right. It's the first one in the Evil book. It's not Barad-dûr. It's Black Riders, Wraiths on Wings, Army of Gothmog, Legions of Mordor.
Yeah,
no, that is what that is. Yeah.
So it's got to be different to that. But
don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think
the rest of them I think are fairly self-explanatory, or like we've kind of already know what they are because they're in the Angmar PDF.
Yes. So I guess then moving on, so we had the Catapult Troll and the Match Play Guide.
Well, you missed the biggest news of the whole month.
What?
Which is we're getting a new narrative play scenario.
Jesus Christ, we didn't do an emergency pod on that. Ali.
So yeah, for those who like scenarios anyway, the Lord of the Rings Two Towers sort of scenarios are being released. Is it as a free PDF?
Ali, no one watching this cares about that.
Hey, they may do.
No one is watching. No one is watching. Look, it's on the screen. Look, we are the best.
David Clubley
no
one
is watching us for advice on narrative scenarios.
I'm not giving advice. I'm just letting David Clubley will be watching, and maybe Jack Canavan as well. And I know they do scenarios. So,
Clubley's one of one though. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you may get a strongly written article in the next Bugle.
Oh God, please don't. Please save us from the fucking the controversy. Jesus.
But at least I would say they're supporting that side of the hobby as well. So,
Ali's just on the Warhammer community website. He's gone to the Middle Earth strategy battle game section and he's just scrolling.
He's not quite scrolling.
What's happened last month?
I just opened all the tabs. Yeah. But yeah, no, so
the actual important article that I was alluding to.
Is it important? Is it important?
Of course it's important. It's the Match Play Guide.
I know, it's the Catapult Troll, which, because I'm just going to make you like wait until I talk about the Match Play Guide now. But the Catapult Troll is actually a very nice model.
Did you not hear my exquisite solo descriptions of it in the
I tend not to watch your solo videos.
Was that the first one? It's like the first one I've ever done. Yeah. Well, on this one.
Yeah, no,
you like it? I mean, you're a fan.
Yeah, it looks really nice as a model. It looks really similar to someone who I know who made their own version, which I can't remember who it was.
But they've had lots of community-made ones, to draw inspiration from, haven't they?
I feel like it may have been one of the fills, but I could be wrong. Like one of the really good sort of painters and that. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'd be interested to see how expensive it is.
World.
Yeah, and I think Army of Gundabad is becoming the army of you can field it competitively, or you can take all the pretty models and have about 12 models, and then like
I just hate that. That's like I don't know. Just why can't they be good as well? Like
I think it's just you want everything and you can't in that list.
But it's not even that. Even if you just want to take say you just want to take a normal Gundabad list with 2 ogres. I won't take anything else. I'll take 2 ogres. It's just not that good. It's okay, but why can't it just be sort of somewhat playable? It is playable. You can totally.
I mean, it's actually quite a good list these days. But I think it may be one of those armies which struggles more with the basically everything else coming out, because
Yeah.
it's not going to gain that much,
Mm.
whereas a lot of the
Yeah,
other
no, it's
lists
not.
will gain extra
Yeah.
profiles and
And it's not
models.
exactly like there's loads of people around it now. So like it's seen some buffs, it's had some changes and things. It needs some mid-tier heroes. Obviously, there's no mid-tier heroes or anything that were in the films or anything more. So
Mm.
I get why there's not, but it's just
It lost out quite a bit from not having. I mean, it's got one of
yeah.
the best army bonuses in the game, to be fair, but I do think it lost out not being able to ally with Azog's hunters and
Yes, because that was
stuff.
somewhat of a way that you could, yeah. But
Yeah,
the heroes are really expensive, as are the toys. So there we go.
yeah.
Are you going to buy one, Ali? We're going to get a bat rep with a catapult drop.
I mean, you're going to get a back rep with me on.
Are we going
Like,
to get a bat rep
is,
regardless? Is
you going to drive up to Sheffield,
I think
or
the bigger question. We can meet up after
we,
City Kings.
we struggle to go to events, let alone just meet
We
up for
do
that
to
rep these
play,
days.
yeah. And now I've moved, so I do actually now live very close to a club though in Basingstoke, which is where I live. That's not.
So if you're from Basingstoke
Should I
and
have
you want
just
to
said
feature
that?
on a bat rep,
I didn't know if I should have just said that. Anyway, I said it. I live close to the gaming club there now, so I can play
but
there.
I'm just saying, like, go find Elliot and film a bat rep with
Oh
him.
dear, I need someone to film a bat rep with. So hey, if you live in, you know,
But no, so yeah, and then I guess onto the bit that Elliot's most excited about, which is the new match played guide,
yes.
which seems to confirm that there will be 24 single player scenarios.
Mm.
Because I think it was Adam was um umming and ahhing about whether
Yes.
it's 24
Yes.
including six doubles. But
Yeah. Yeah, we were back and forth. Yeah.
and the fact that it says including six that are completely new makes me think that 18 of them are the 18 we had last edition. So
Yeah.
there'll be a return of, but maybe changed. The old favourites, Storm the Camp, Contest of
The
Champions.
the fades. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then there's
heirlooms.
also the double scenarios as well because it said
Yeah,
like the raw.
which
Gone.
I mean, I'll be interested to see what the other six scenarios are. They've obviously given themselves more points variance, so maybe they'll do something a bit different. But I do think, personally, I think the game is best balanced at 12 scenarios.
12.
Uh, yeah, like as in,
Ooh.
no, I think the way that you can do it is you can have two different sets of 12, but I think you balance each 12, if that makes sense.
That feels like a cop out answer there.
No,
Yeah, there can
well,
only be 12, but there's two lots of 12, so there's
but
actually 24. Like,
the reason for it is once you got 24, because I guarantee you three quarters of them will probably favor having more models.
yeah,
Just because of the nature of scenarios, is that you are more likely to go through in a six-game event and never play a bad scenario for insert X army.
yeah,
Whereas with 12, you can kind of go, right, we've got two that are bad for this one, two bad at one, and eight that are kind of somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
Um, and then it sort of increases the likelihood.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll be interested to see those. The double scenarios, I'm quite happy we'll get new ones because I generally think the old ones were crap for double scenarios.
Well, I guess it was made quite a while ago. You know, things
Yeah.
have progressed, so we'll see what they.
But yeah, those double scenarios basically did the opposite of encouraging you to play together.
Well, but
It was like,
they didn't actually say that there. They said there were six new ones, but they didn't say whether those were singles or doubles.
uh,
Half and half.
I'm pretty sure it will be like
Could be, but like it could just
24
be
individuals and then
it could
six.
just be the six old double scenarios. Don't
Oh
know.
yeah, but they may be reworked.
Sure, for the points.
Because
Yeah,
I think half the issue I had with them is you're always being deployed apart, and so you're never actually getting the
yeah,
fun out of doubles because you're basically playing two solo games. It ends up
yeah,
being
yeah. You're
you're
kind
just
of
waiting for your
stuck to
opponent to finish rolling
yeah,
dice.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. So that's the news. Those were the articles from last month. So we'll see. Are we going to have more reveals before all this stuff is released? Because they said it's all going to be released in the coming months. I think it's all going to come out in one kind of go. It's just when that is. Are we going to get other bits coming out before then? It'll be released at the same time. Who knows? So
I wonder whether I'm trying to think if there's a thing that they may time it with, like how, for example, we got all the
yeah, I
War of the
mean,
Rohirrim stuff.
they like to have like a summer release. So, but obviously there isn't going to be like a big new box or anything. But maybe they just want a big sort of, you know, the two books, like a mini sort of big
Yeah,
release for SBG as one of their kind of summer,
I
you know,
mean
hits.
it could be in a month. It could be like
Yeah,
the fact they said in the coming months, maybe they're not 100% sure when they're going to be giving
yeah,
the
true.
date.
They
They
could,
know
yeah,
it will be somewhere in between, let's just say May and
sometime before
October.
October, but
Yeah.
when, yeah. So yeah, maybe there's other things that they have in the pipeline for other game systems.
Because I don't know if there's a new edition coming out of
Yeah,
Age of
I
Sigma
haven't
or
heard of
anything
anything.
like
There totally might be. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, maybe this is some. They know that they can kind of maybe push back SBG if needs be, or bring it
that.
forward to allow for something else to take place. Yeah, so we'll see. But okay, that'll do it for news from the mark, and we shall move on to looking at the upcoming events for next month. Now, this won't take too long, as you can see, there's only the City of Kings happening next month. Only the one GBHL 100 that is, because One Ring to Rule the Bubbles. From Ali's brother, Matt King, T.O., has been postponed. So whenever that's rescheduled for, we're not too sure when that is. But yeah, we will cover that at a later date. And obviously next month is when we'll discuss the Masters results as well. But City of Kings, Ali and I are both going, is a 800-point event with 6 games, which Ali has traditionally ran for the last... How many years did you run the City of Kings, Ali?
I don't know, probably since 2018, and then obviously had
20,
the
2018?
year off for
Okay.
COVID, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because he, named it after himself, right? Because he's,
Well, actually, do you want the full story?
I thought that was the full story.
No.
Well,
So,
this is going to take 10 minutes. Sorry.
so Winchester is known as the King's City because it's the
Oh, I
seat
shouldn't have
or
asked.
capital of Alfred the Great. Also, more importantly, the
It's my
abbreviation is
surname.
no, the abbreviation is COK, so it's cock. Um,
I've seen that a number of times, and it's also your surname. So there you go.
yeah.
It all
It's
adds
not
up.
just me, it's the city where me and Matt come from. So there you go.
But I figured Matt. I
Well,
mean,
that's why it's King's multiple.
oh right,
Yeah.
because City of King
Yeah.
would have been way
But,
too.
but anyway, I'm not running it this year because I decided living in Sheffield that, and I'm obviously started running City still. It was a bit of an issue coordinating
Long
with
old
the
way.
gaming club and stuff like that to
Indeed.
run it. So I have passed the reins off to what seems to be a committee of people now in
Yeah, it's the Hampshire Hammers.
yeah, Hammers.
It's the whole.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
Luke, Hilda, Phil, and Ollie,
Um,
and then my brother's also assisting.
was it?
Yeah, just because the other guys haven't run a 100
100.
before,
Yeah,
so
sure. Fair
he's
enough. Makes sense.
assisting on
Oh,
that.
nice, nice. It is a very it has been a very well ran event. It's been one of my favorites. I'm now even closer to Winchester. I'm only like half an hour from Winchester now, so it's
Is that
straight
because
down.
I'm not there anymore? You're like, oh, safe.
I know. Let's just edge closer.
We could start
Um,
going to the gaming club again.
I could do. I could do. We had a game there once, didn't we, Ali?
Yeah, we
Good
did. That was,
times.
I think, the first time I met you.
That I won. Don't mind if I do.
You know, it got me nicer than usual. Uh,
Anyway, City of Kings, 800 points. First big. This will be my. I think Gates of Gondolin's the week before this, so this is the second event. Yeah, that I'll have been to. But rather than looking at one of our lists, I asked Mr. Ben Haslam for a list that he would have taken if he were going to the event. But as he lives in Sheffield, he is not going. But Ali lives in Sheffield and he is going, so it's no excuse,
Ben
Ben.
doesn't live
Yes.
in Sheffield.
Oh,
He lives like Halifax, I think.
oh.
Otherwise,
Oh.
me and Ben would be doing practice games all the
I
time.
guess to be fair, you could have gone down together. Oh, I thought you lived in Sheffield. I got that wrong.
No,
Oops.
no, he's more north than me now. I mean, now he has always been more north than me. You can hear it in his voice. But
Yes. So
yeah,
anyway, so I asked Ben, yes, what would you take if you were going? And he said he wasn't too keen on the new edition at the moment, and kind of like the what's doing well and stuff. So he thought I'd probably just take Army of Thor for some fun. And I thought that'll make Ali happy. So 800 points, Army of Thor. It's got Thrall, Thrain, young Thorin, and a dwarf captain, and a load of variable dwarves. God, that looks kind of boring. There's 38 models, 4 heroes. Doesn't look that bad on paper, but why is it bad, Ali? Or why is it
well,
not
actually,
great
before I get onto the list, one thing to note is there are, I think, 3 custom scenarios that Luke Hilda's written
for City of Kings?
for
Yeah,
the
true.
event.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
won't run them through them. Go check out
We may
the
do a preview. So
yeah,
we'll
that's
be in
supposed
the
to be good.
preview. Indeed.
Yeah, go check out
Scenarios do look really cool. Yeah.
the event page and you can find them on there. And I
Yeah.
think there's still about 9 tickets left. So
That's a good
uh,
plug there, Ali. Well in.
still loyal to
Sorry, I don't.
Even
Yeah,
though
I sort of rarely remember to plug things that aren't my own. So,
but yeah, no, so the list itself. So I'll start by being nice about the bits that I do like. One, it's dwarves, so
to
that's
be brief.
awesome. It's D7 everywhere. So in the current edition, that's a lot harder for actually a lot of armies to chew through, with the exceptions of all the ones that have +1 to win, such
Yeah.
as Brandel's Halls or Dale or something like that.
Mm.
38 models is a solid model count when you're on elite-ish list.
Hmm.
Um, 4 is nigh unkillable these days because
Yeah.
he's still, I mean, it's the same stats and profile as he was last edition, but now because Mithril armor, it means you cannot be rendered.
Mm.
Means that you do have to find a way through his D9 and Arkenstone.
That's
So,
not great.
so you should be able to protect like your hero VPs.
If Thrall dies, you've probably messed up.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's just gone horribly wrong. I did manage to accidentally kill Thor once last edition by stabbing himself, but that's not a concern anymore. Uh,
No.
uh, Frayne is really solid. I mean, he's the unfortunately he's the hammer in the list. Not that he's a bad hammer, but he's just frees in all the right places. D8, very tough to take down and gets +1 to wound. And he's also got a stand fast, which um, has an increased range. I think they've changed it slightly so it wasn't as good as last edition,
Okay.
and affects other heroes. I think it's only 12-inch now, whereas it used to be board wide, which made me
That's not.
sad.
That's sad.
Um, for an Oakenshield, I mean, he's still basically exactly the same as he was last edition. He gives you a once a game small bubble with +1 strength.
Mhm.
And then he's freezing all the right places, but he doesn't get any bonus to wound, which is his sort of downside. Um, and then the herbal captain is actually a very good captain profile in that it's 3 attacks, which a lot of
Captains
people
seem
haven't
pretty.
noticed.
Captains seem
Yeah,
pretty lit this edition. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Love it.
Um,
Love a
so
captain.
yeah, so yeah, it's three. He's 3 attacks, fight 5, captain, still like D7, so like still solid. Will match most heroes in the game, if not beat them. But yeah, so the heroes of the army generally are pretty solid. You've got 3 fight 6, 3 attack, 3 wound heroes, and then you've got another
Pretty
three
good.
attack fight 5 hero. Um, then that's basically all the intrigue in the list because
Yeah.
after that you're just dwarf airborne warriors with shields or shields and spears because
The
because
grid
everything
hunters.
went up in points slightly from last edition to this edition. You kind of end up just you can't afford the Grim Hammers. You don't get the Strength 4 on your list really, or you don't get the model count, or you don't get one of the heroes, and it's kind of like you're always having to sacrifice something. So here Ben sacrificed going for the Strength 4 just
Mm.
to get the model count.
Yeah.
But it does mean he's going to be relying on the heroes to do the killing power,
They are pretty
which
good. So
yeah,
yes.
which can work. And there's a trick that I used to do, and it works even better now. Actually, the captain's got sort of 3 attacks. Is you put all your heroes near together, and then on one turn you basically go for a massive blitz. You charge, you do the +1 strength for 4 men if it will
Yeah.
make a difference, and heroic combat with everyone, and then
Yeah.
just go through, and then
Pray. Pray you
you
rolled
just
sixes.
yeah, basically, because 4's a 6-inch banner, and you've got 3 dice, and then hopefully a spear support. You should be able to win those
Yeah.
first combats, and then hopefully move on to the next.
Yeah.
But it's it does focus you really in one area.
Mm.
But no, you'd sort of there go and it's a trick you can do, but it's not the most reliable or
No.
the one
Yeah.
that you want to count on.
There's not much else going on. So,
Yeah. But
uh,
no, as a whole, the list is fine. If you end up being to say Ben was to take this because Ben's quite a good player, I would imagine he would go 3 or 4 wins at the event. Maybe
gotta
5
go
is
4 and
really
2.
likely. Yeah, but I just mean as in the variant sort of.
Yeah.
It's not something you would expect him to win the event with,
No.
and um, he'll be it would be a very good performance if he manages the podium. But
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's not
no,
going to the event, so we won't find
yeah.
out.
If there's
Uh,
loads of rocky terrain though, the dwarves for that point that they all went up, do
yeah.
get to move across rocky terrain without penalty now.
Fan bloody tastic. That's what that
Yeah,
is. That's
Not that the heroes do, but
game
like,
changing. Yeah. Your heroes can sort of lag behind the troops. Yeah, they're not that
yeah,
important.
but no,
Yeah.
it's one where it's solid, unspectacular, but because of the points increases, like, so all of the heroes went up in points as well. So last edition, most of the heroes were the same in terms of damage output, apart from the dwarf captain, but you would be saving something like 45 points,
Yeah.
and then the troops you'd be saving 45 points on. So this would actually have been a 46 model
Yeah,
army
list at
last
800
edition.
as yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's 38. Yeah. So
Oh, and it doesn't have an actual banner, so you'll be down
VP.
X amount of VPs in there.
It was like
And
that
the
last
art.
edition though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, but like you didn't mind so much last edition, whereas
Because we
this
had
is
46
perfect.
dwarves. Yeah.
Um,
Fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
yeah, no, it's
will
not.
we see Ali King taking Army of Thor sometime soon in a pre,
If I was to go to a 90, possibly.
which he won't.
Um,
So that's a no.
I mean, the thing that really annoys me is the 1/3 Grimhammer, like more than anything else, because
Yeah.
it just really ruins how you want to build the list.
Yeah. So there's lots of Erebor warriors with shields and spears.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Only the one upcoming event for April, so it'll be a quiet one. But we shall move on to our final segment, one question to rule them all, where we close out every episode with a question from the audience. So be sure to leave your question down in the comments here on YouTube. But today we have a question from none other than Jamie Wiggins. I don't know how to pronounce his Instagram handle. Do you know how to pronounce it?
No.
No. Okay, fine. I'll leave that
I recognize it by the fireball, if
there.
I'm being
Same.
honest.
Yeah, yeah. But shout out Jamie, who sent in a question saying, "What's one scene or moment from the movies that you'd like to see become an army list in the game?" Have you had a think about this one, or would you like me to
No,
start?
I've got one,
Okay.
and I'm mainly mentioning it because it's also not in any of the lists that we know are coming out. Is the Battle of Anunzibur. I don't get why we don't have a good and an evil version of um, like either the book version, to be fair, or the
Now,
film
now, now,
version.
hold on, because I was consulting my advanced book knowledge earlier as well,
Yeah,
and then I realised the question said from the movies, the films,
yeah,
from the film. So,
that's in the films as well.
oh shit! Well, I don't even know what it is. So, what is it?
I
What
thought
is it?
about interrupting you before you made a
So, what is it?
very funny.
I haven't heard of that before. There's no way that's in
Yeah,
the films.
so yeah, so it is in the films. It's at the the whole thing where
Is that
like
another name for the Battle of Helm's Deep or something? And you're just
no, it's the Azog versus like it's where Thorin becomes Thorin Oakenshield and Thor gets beheaded and like
oh that okay, yeah,
yeah,
fine. Okay,
it's
that
like
is in the films. All
yeah, I
right,
mean it's a pretty significant part of the film. It like
okay,
sets up the whole entire
all right.
motivation.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have a list for that, do we?
No, which is weird
That's a good take.
because you could do it last edition, like you can make it so I'd ran my own version because you could ally Dane's Iron Hills into an Innsbruck, so you could do like because Dane was there, so you could and then the young dwarves and stuff. But you can't do a Dane with like the Thor and that lot anymore.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So that is one that you would like. Okay. Mine's a lot more vanilla. I was scanning through the Lord of the Rings films thinking, God, what
so you
happened?
go through all 12 hours just to look
Yeah,
for
yeah,
one
yeah. I
scene
was
that
just
hasn't been
scanning
represented.
the mouse. Yeah. And obviously, but now with the new edition, they've really tried to focus all the army lists on, moments from the film. So they've done most of what I could really think of. But I thought one thing, why don't we have something about like the Bridge of Khazad-dûm? Why don't we have an OP Gandalf the Grey?
They've done a scenario for it.
But I just thought because I thought maybe I was like, oh, but they've got the breaking of the Fellowship, but that's from after Gandalf's already passed. That's like Amon Hen.
So you want like fellowship in each sort of
I just
place
thought
that
like
they
I
fight.
could envision the Legendary Legion page, like with the
Yeah.
bottom half being a graphic, and it's of
But
Gandalf there.
you could do a Mines of Moria fellowship. So you
Yeah,
then get like
yeah.
Grieving
Oh, I
Gimli
guess
special
okay,
rule, and then you've got
cool.
Gandalf Uber versus Spirit models
Yeah,
slash
I
Battle
guess you
Rod.
could. Yeah, it could be a Mines of Moria or a
Yeah,
Barling's Tomb.
yeah,
I thought of that. I was specifically thinking kind of Gandalf on the bridge, and he gives like loads of like buffing auras or something. But yeah, I guess you could incorporate that into a
yeah.
Mines of Moria Fellowship list as well. I like it. Yeah, that would be my pick, Jamie. Let us know in the comments. What would be your, if you made it to one question to rule them all, what would be your list from your favourite moment or scene in the films? Thank you very much, James.
Please ask a question which Elliot will get completely wrong and try and call me out on it again.
That does happen sometimes. So yes, and be sure to leave your questions for next time down in the comments below. But any final comments, Ali, before we close this out? I think we're good.
No.
I think we're good to go. Okay, so that's going to do it. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode of MESBG Monthly from the Gollum's Gamers.